Welcome to your Go session. In this 20-minute session, you will learn the ins and outs of Shiftgig and using your mobile app to claim shifts and work on your terms. We ask that you please make sure to pay close attention and follow along because there will be a short quiz at the end of this training session. The good news is we are about to give you all the answers you need to be successful on that quiz. Overall, our goal in the next 20 minutes is to make you as comfortable in the app as possible. So moving forward, you could be successful. First, we want to talk a little about who we are as a company. First and foremost, we are not a staffing company. A staffing company does the job placements for you. With Shiftgig, you are your own boss and therefore place yourself on the jobs that you want. We are simply the technology that allows you to connect with hundreds of jobs in your area. Shiftgig has been going strong since 2012. And in that time has grown to 14 cities. We have supplied work for over 16,000 employees and over 2,000 companies across the country. While each city is a little different, the core areas Shiftgig offers job opportunities are food service, hospitality, retail, warehouse, and experiential marketing. One of the really great parts about Shiftgig is that all of our cities work together as a team. If you were to move after being hired with Shiftgig, you could have the opportunity to work in any of our sister cities around the country. Here we will go over our 7 core values. Shiftgig has a set of core values that guide how we operate our business. These are the values that we look for in our specialists, and they are the values that you could expect from us as well. Please take a look at them all, but I'm going to highlight a few of these now. Respect. When you are out on a shift, making sure you are showing respect to everyone around you. This means everyone from our customers to our supervisors, to each other, and to ourselves. Passion. Making sure that when you are on a job, you are always being the best version of yourself for both our clients as well as the customers we are servicing. Teamwork. When you are on a job, you are part of a team. We are looking for people who have no problem rolling up their sleeves and helping in any way that they can. Shiftgig is not a place for people who say, "It's not my job." And last, integrity. Again, we cannot stress enough that you represent Shiftgig on your shifts. We need people who will always do the right thing, even when no one is looking. This could be ensuring your bank is balanced as a cashier or professionally handling a customer complaint on the job. So now that you know about us, we are going to get into how it all works. In this next section, we are going to really dive into the app and what it looks like to view, claim, and drop shifts. We will also get into our attendance policies and the best part, getting paid. Expectations for claiming shifts. Here, we are going to talk about what we expect from you before and after claiming a shift. Once you are in the app, you are going to be able to view all the different shifts that match your skill set. When you see a shift you want to work, you want to ask yourself these 4 key questions. Do I have no scheduling conflicts? Do I have the right skills? Do I have the right uniform? And do I have the right attitude to do a great job? If the answer is yes, you are going to claim that shift. We always ask that you make sure to be 15 minutes early to all of your shifts. You will have to sign in with the on-site supervisor at each venue. This 15 minutes gives you plenty of time to find that supervisor, get signed in, and be ready to start working when the shift starts. At the end of your shift, you are going to record your hours. This includes the time the shift started as well as the time you were signed out by your supervisor. We will go over how all that looks later in the presentation. And lastly, we ask to smile, and here's why. We have a great feature in our app that is called All-Starring. You get All-Starred when a client sees you showing those core values we talked about earlier. Show up, work hard, and clients can All-Star you. The great part about All-Starring is that you will get to see shifts 4 to 8 hours earlier than standard employees in the app. As you can see, our All-Stars tend to work 3 to 4 times more than our standard employees. In the end, you work more shifts you love, Clients love working with Shiftgig, and our company continues to grow for all of us. On this slide, you will get a glimpse into what the majority of our hospitality shifts will require in terms of a uniform. Black pants, white button-down, black button-down, and black shoes are the most common uniforms you will see for our front-of-house positions, although the uniforms for our retail, warehouse, and back-of-house positions may vary. In your app, you will always have a very detailed description of what our clients are requiring. We cannot stress enough the importance of making sure you follow the client's request on uniforms. We would hate for you to show up to a shift and not be able to work because your uniform was wrong. Now the fun stuff, getting paid. Our pay schedule works on a weekly Sunday through Saturday rotation, and you get paid the following Friday. Even better, when you claim a shift in the app, it will tell you the day that you could expect to get paid for that shift. You have already indicated to us how you would like to get paid, via pay card or direct deposit. Once you start picking up shifts, your pay will be deposited into that account on the following Friday. Another great feature that we have is called daily pay. Once you have worked 5 or more shifts with Shiftgig, you could qualify to use daily pay. This means you would be able to pull money out of your upcoming paycheck before payday. It works a lot like an ATM, in that you will get a fee to pull this money out early. Your safety is one of our top concerns. If an accident happens on one of your shifts and you get hurt, please call the on-call nurse immediately. They are available 24/7 and will guide you on what to do next. You don't even need to write this phone number down because it's easily found in your app in case you may ever need it. Now I'm going to ask that you really pay attention to this slide, as it is something that can really help you be successful with your career in Shiftgig. Like with any other job, if you no-call no-show to a shift, that is grounds for termination. Our app is set up so that you are able to drop a shift at any time. If you ever cannot make a shift for any reason, it is very important that you drop it in the app as soon as possible. Let's talk a little about how those drops work. Because you should be asking yourself those 4 key questions before claiming a shift, drops should be used only in emergency situations. Remember, when you claim a shift, that means that shift is no longer available to other specialists in the app. Anytime that you drop a shift within 48 hours of its start time, you will receive a strike. After you receive 3 strikes, your account will be frozen and deactivated. When this happens, all future shifts that you have claimed will be dropped. I do want to point out that late drops are not the only way to get a strike on your account. Showing up late, uniform violations, performance-related client complaints, and any on-site incident can also cause you to get a strike. Once your account is frozen, you will get an email from Community Success to discuss your employment status. If we do not hear back from you within those 7 days, we will consider that a formal resignation. In the Profile section of the app, you will be able to see your reliability score. This score is based on how many times you have been all-starred and how many times you have dropped shifts. You can see those counts at the bottom here as well. This is also a great place to see previously worked shifts, estimated pay for the shifts you have picked up, as well as your skill tags. Let's click on our skill tags. In the skill tags section, you're going to want to make sure that this is always up to date. If you have received training in any area that is not listed, simply follow the instructions in the app and provide us with the proper documentation, and we can update it for you. Let's head back to your profile. Now we're going to click on the support circle. In this area, you will be able to find most of your questions have been answered for you. Let's click on Frequently Asked Questions and Help. This is where you will find the answers for most of your questions. If for some reason an answer is not provided, you could always type a question into the search bar and your answer will pop up for you. If for some reason there is something more that you need help with, you can always go back into your app to the Contact Us section. Here, you will type in your question, and someone from Community Success will get in contact with you. Another important feature in this section is shift alerts. You are going to want to make sure to set up your shift alerts to the way that makes you the most comfortable. If you are interested in knowing about shifts that are added to the app, you're going to want to set up your push notifications and emails to alert you. If you don't set up these alerts, there's a good chance you can miss out on some great upcoming shifts. Please take some time to read over the rest of this section and get comfortable with it. Let's go back to find shifts. Now we're going to talk about the 5 different types of shifts. First is a regular one-off shift. This means you work one shift and get paid for it. These are the most common types of shifts in the app. The next type of shift is a repeating shift. And a repeating shift is exactly that, a shift that repeats for multiple days. You can always tell a repeating shift because it will have a red circle next to its name. When picking up a repeating shift, you are committing to working all of the days included in that shift. Do not claim that shift if you cannot work all of those days. You could simply click on "This is a repeating shift" to know exactly which days you are committing to working to. The third type of shift is a backup shift. A backup shift is a live shift. You show up in uniform, on time, and ready to work. Please make sure to always identify yourself as a backup shift. If for some reason, when you get there, the client doesn't need you, Shiftgig is going to pay you for 4 hours for simply showing up and having our back. With that said, you may have to wait up to 4 hours to see if you are needed to work. Also, please keep in mind that 85% of our backup shifts end up being used for the full duration of the shift, so come ready to work. You'll always know if it's a backup shift because it will be stated in the title. Look at the first shift and the available shifts on my app. The fourth type of shift we are going to talk about is a training shift. Training shifts can work one of 2 ways. They could be an online training portal, or they could be a live in-person training. Sometimes trainings will be paid, and sometimes they will be unpaid. The details will always be provided in the shift details. Completing more training can help you get new skill tags added to your profile, which can open you up to new jobs. The final type of shift is a waitlist shift, but unlike all of the other shifts, this is not a live shift. A waitlist just lets you indicate that you are interested in a shift that has already been filled. If that shift opens up, you will be invited to claim it, and you must claim the live shift in order to work it. People drop shifts regularly, so the waitlist lets you call dibs on a shift that you'd like to work. If it opens up, you will be given 30 minutes to claim that shift, 10 minutes if the shift starts in less than 12 hours. And then the waitlist will move on to the next person. Please do not show up on site if you have claimed a waitlist shift. Now that we know the different types of shifts, I'm going to walk you through how we pick up and drop shifts in the app, as well as how we record our hours. Now let's go back to our available shifts and claim one. I'm going to read through my entire shift description. I'm going to ask myself those 4 core questions that we talked about earlier. If I could say yes to all of those, I'm going to clarify that I have the uniform, and I'm going to claim this shift. Because this shift starts so soon, I will have to verify my hours and claim the shift. This shift is now ours. Once you claim a shift in the app, it'll turn green to let you know that you have an active shift for that day. But we also have to look at how we drop shifts. I'm going to click on the shift that I'm supposed to work. I'm going to scroll to the bottom, and there will be a box to say Drop Shift. I'm going to click on that box, and it's going to give me the information I need to know about dropping this shift. Because this shift starts in 17 hours, which is under the 48-hour rule, I'm going to be alerted that when I drop this shift, I will be getting a late drop. I will confirm that I understand, and I'm going to late drop my shift. We have now been removed from the shift. Occasionally, a client may ask you to work a shift that is not in the app. This is called an offline shift. If this ever comes up, please always let the client know that you are happy to work. However, they need to let Shiftgig know so that we could put it in the app. Any hours worked that are not entered into the app can hold up your pay. Now let's look at what we do when our shift has ended. The first thing we want to do is go into our app and pull up our time card. If your time card does not automatically pop up, simply go into the shift you just worked, and it'll bring you to this page. It'll ask you if you worked the shift, if you were sent home, or if you didn't work. Simply click on the appropriate answer. For this shift, we're going to click that we worked. It is now going to ask us our start time. This is the time that the shift actually started. It's also going to ask you the time that you left. This is the time that your on-site supervisor clocked you out. Lastly, it's going to ask you about any breaks that you took. It is important to remember that these are only non-paid breaks. If you took a 10-minute paid break, you do not have to clock it. You only have to clock non-paid breaks. And last, you're going to confirm your time. Your start time, your end time, and your break time. You want to make sure that this is correct before you click Done. Here is your confirmation page. It's letting you know how many hours you've worked, the amount of money you've earned, and when you could expect to get paid for that shift. If you confirm that everything on this page is correct, you're going to submit for approval. Now that you've submitted it for approval, it's going to ask you to rate your shift. We take this very serious here at Shiftgig. We want to know what's going well and what we can improve on. So please make sure to always take the time to rate the shift and let us know how we're doing. That completes your Go presentation. Please sign back into WorkBright and complete the tech assessment. You are welcome to take the assessment as many times as you need to be successful. Please remember that you need a score of 13 and above to pass. Good luck and welcome to Shiftgig.